Hi everybody, Scott Taylor, the Data Whisperer here, talking to you from the NRF, National Retail Federation, the big show. Over 50,000 people, dozens of countries represented, hundreds of exhibitors checking out the new technology for retail and consumer brands. People are looking at the seamless customer experience. How do they achieve frictionless commerce? We're going to be talking with the folks at Pivotree about their new data as a service platform. How does that help e-commerce? How does that help all these companies really kind of leverage their way out of technical debt? We're going to go talk to them for a little bit, see what's on their minds. Derek, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for joining us today. You know, we hear a lot about frictionless commerce, but what's the role of data in all that?
You have to have your customers find you. You have to find your customers. They have to trust you. You have to be able to buy the thing you're selling, and then you have to be able to deliver it to them. And so we call that find, trust, buy, get.
Find, trust, buy, get. There's no mnemonic in there, it's just got to remember. Find, trust, buy, get. Okay.
So boil it down to its simplistic form. And so we started thinking about this concept of frictionless commerce. Now obviously you have experiences at the consumer level, at the buyer level, but if you do, it's because of all the good work you've done on the back end.
Oh, sure.
If you deliver a frictionless experience to your customer, but it's cost prohibitive because of all of the all the hamster wheel stuff you're doing on the back end, that gets complicated. So what's really the struggle that folks are having? And so we really boiled it down to three basic things. So the first thing is the data itself, availability of it, access to it, completeness of it, quality of it, consistency of it, business operations, channels, all the rest. And then once you have that, then a word you like to use a lot, interoperability. How do we make that data kind of talk to everything it needs to talk to and be available, right? So much of that is powered by technical debt because of the way the companies grew up. They went and got an ERP system to sort of buy, sell, and move things, and then they realized that they needed a POS system, then they realized they needed a warehousing system, then they realized, and so they're adding all of these systems, commerce systems, right? They're adding all of these systems, creating silos, and a lot of them, went with the monoliths.
Or more of a pile even, right? I mean, I don't think they were that strategic in a lot of cases.
It's that kind of thing that's kind of built up over time that really makes it difficult to have a really clear picture of your suppliers, your customers, your products, and that's the thing we're looking to do with our mission really is to really break through all of the system stuff and get down to the actual heart of the problem, which is that brand owners need the data, not necessarily more technology.
They're introducing this idea, data as a service concept here,
right.
New kind of solution. Just talk to me about it.
When people realize they've got a data problem, generally the first thing they'll say is, hey, I need a system. I need some kind of a software, it's sort of the Lord of the Rings concept, right? It's like the software to rule all software.
That's it, just my precious data, that's all I want.
So what we're doing with data as a service is we're saying, look, what we want to be able to bring to you is the data. So we do this in several ways. One is through our data sciences capability. We've got a really robust sort of API management layer with visibility. We've got a really robust, we call it the master data repository, which has category specific attribution, taxonomy, schemas, that sort of thing. And then of course we can use your own data, but then we use machine learning to grab all of that stuff and really figure out how it should be structured, where all it needs to go, how it needs to be transformed in every place where it's going to interact, so that you don't really have to go through a massive change necessarily within your operations, within your systems. Now technology is an important component, and obviously we're not saying that you don't need technology, but at the end of the day, the technology, as you know, isn't always solving the problem. So if we can get you down to the fundamentals of having the data, and then we can figure out from there, what technologies do you actually need to drive the business operations.
How do you explain this data as a service type of approach?
We help our brand owners understand their data landscape. We help them with the taxonomies, the schemas, the governance, the rules and policies, and then help them leverage the technology in a smart and efficient way to actually deliver on their brand promise of find, trust, buy, get.
So a lot around the structured data to begin with.
Being able to work with unstructured data but make sense of it.
Okay, talk a lot about these taxonomies, hierarchies, unique identifiers, geographies. Those are the basics. If you don't have that, your stuff falls apart.
You've heard people say, like, there's no such thing as a bad dog. They're just not disciplined or trained, right?
Okay.
So it's kind of feel the same way about data. Like,
oh, that's nice with it.
Your data's not bad, it's just undisciplined.
Bad data?
Bad data.
No, it wasn't bad data, it was the data was behaving badly.
Data is curated for a function, and it's fine for that function. But when you take it outside of its little world, it's not what you need it to be.
It's causing friction in a frictionless world. Even though those two parties think their stuff is right, they still have to be, to your point about my point, interoperable.